All right, everybody, buckle up, because we're diving deep into a world of crime, yeah, comebacks, and a city on the verge of exploding. We're breaking down Fight Night, the Million Dollar Heist, and let me tell you, this ain't your typical heist flick. We're going deep, deep into 1970s Atlanta, a time and place, man, it's practically a character in itself.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that one. We're talking about a city becoming like the center of Black culture, political power, all while, this complex underworld's pulling strings. 1970s Atlanta, it's a snapshot of a pivotal moment, a turning point, really, that still echoes today.
Man, you said it. So picture this. 1970, Atlanta's buzzing, Muhammad Ali's comeback fight, everyone's hyped. But hold up, beneath the surface, another fight's brewing. And Kevin Hart, he's stepping into the ring as Gordon Chicken Man Williams. We're used to see him, bring the laughs, right? So to see him like this, gritty, dramatic, that's got to mean something.
It's a statement, for sure.
Yeah, like-
Bold move, right? And it hints at the depth of this story. Chicken Man, he ain't just trying to survive. He's clawing his way up, Atlanta's underworld. And to prove himself, he's throwing this high-stakes after-party the same night as Ali's fight. All for Frank Black Godfather Moten, the city's kingpin, the man, the myth.
Whoa, okay, so we've got these two stories happening at the same time. Ali fighting for his comeback, Chicken Man fighting to, carve out his own piece. And both of them navigating a world, let's be real, where the rules, they don't exactly apply to guys like Chicken Man.
And that's where, history really sets the stage. Atlanta in 1970, man, it was like a powder keg, racial tension, economic upheaval. And into this pressure cooker, you drop Muhammad Ali, a figure bigger than boxing. He was a symbol of change, resistance. You can see how this one event, this fight, could light the fuse.
So not just a boxing match, a catalyst, a city already on edge. And Chicken Man's in the thick of it, trying to balance his own ambitions with, keeping his family safe. Oh, and Don Cheadle's in the mix, too, as the detective protecting Ali. Talk about turning up the heat.
And just when you think the stakes couldn't get any higher, bam, masked robbers hit Chicken Man's party. Cliffhanger, classic. Leaves you hanging on, right? Who's going to make it out? And what does this mean for a city already on a knife's edge,
Okay, before we dive into that chaos, did you notice Kevin Hart, Taraji P. Henson, they're back together?
Oh, man, that's a reunion I'm really curious about. Think Like a Man, they were electric. Then Top 5, a whole different vibe, but just as good. And now a gritty crime drama like this adds a whole new dimension to their, on-screen chemistry.
No kidding. And hold on, it gets better. Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard, back together too. We all remember Hustle and Flow, right? Explosive doesn't even begin to describe it. Now, throw them into Fight Night, the spark's gonna fly. And speaking of interesting pairings, the team behind the show is just as captivating. Shea Agbona, she's running the show, and with Kevin Hart's Heartbeat Productions backing it up, well, this isn't your run-of-the-mill crime drama.
No way. No way. You've got Agbona's vision, and then you add Hart's comedic timing, his production savvy, all this set against the backdrop of like a defining moment in Atlanta's history makes you wonder, will they shy away from the heavy stuff, or are they going all in on the complexities, Ambition, identity, the fight for power in a city that's reinventing itself right before our eyes.
Which leads to another question that's been on my mind. Are they using the Ali fight as just, background noise, or will the show really dig into the impact he had? On Atlanta, on its transformation. You mentioned Atlanta's transformation, and this is where things get really interesting for me. The term Black Mecca, you hear it a lot, right? But what's it really mean in this show, like in this specific time and place?
Oh, no, that's the question, isn't it? And it's key to understanding what's at stake, for guys like Chicken Man especially. See, by the 70s Atlanta, it's becoming a hub, Black enterprise. Banks, businesses, newspapers, all Black-owned. Institutions pushing back against the system, forging their own path. And it wasn't just about the money, right? It was about influence, culture, having a voice, a vision for the future.
So Chicken Man, he's hustling in the streets, trying to rise up, but there's this other hustle happening, legit, all over Atlanta. Are we supposed to see those two things, like, side by side?
No, there's a connection, right? On the one hand, you've got Ali challenging the whole damn system on a national stage, global even. Then you got Chicken Man playing by a different set of rules, but that hunger for recognition, for a seat at the table, that's the same. The show, it could really dig into that. The different faces of ambition, how it gets shaped by race, class, opportunity, in a city that's literally transforming before your eyes.
So the fight for Black Mecca, it wasn't just about laws changing. It was about, expectations, changing the story of what was possible, if you were Black in America, I mean.
Exactly. And that's what makes Ali so powerful, right? This is a man stripped of his title, denied his place, but he fought back, demanded to be heard, respected, in a city like Atlanta where so many were fighting their own battles. Man, that resonated.
Gives me chills. You can feel it.
Yeah.
The energy, the weight of history on these characters.
Yeah.
But let's get back to this heist. Why do you think they brought this whole, like, high-stakes crime into it?
Smart way to raise the stakes, right? And to show the underbelly. Because Atlanta, yeah, it was on the rise, but it wasn't all pretty. There were still, deep divisions, poverty, crime, existing alongside this new black middle class. The heist, it lets the show dig into all that, the different sides of a city dealing with change.
And we can't forget those masked robbers either. Total wild card. What's their presence say about this black Mecca dream? Is it, like, fragile?
That's the question that keeps me coming back. Are they, trying to capitalize on the chaos around the fight? Are they tied to Chicken Man's world? Or are they something else entirely? It makes you think. Progress, it's precarious, Things can fall apart fast. Even in a city, striving for unity, for self-determination, there's always someone looking to exploit the cracks.
Makes you think. It's relevant. Even now, we're still dealing with the same stuff. Racial injustice, the economy, the fight for equality. Just like in Atlanta, back then, one event, one moment, it can spark change, good or bad.
And that's the power of a story like this, right? It ain't just about the past. It's holding up a mirror, making us deal with the tough stuff, and asking ourselves, where do we stand? What side of history are we on?
Man. So where does this wild ride go next? I gotta say, my head's spinning thinking about all this. Will Chicken Man's party, is that going to be like the final showdown? Yeah. Will Ali's fight, will that actually start a movement, or will it just get lost in all the chaos?
Million-dollar questions, both of them. And I think the show wants us asking those questions, thinking about how one thing leads to another, how one night it can just tip the scales.
It's like that butterfly effect thing.
Exactly. Who would have thought? A city on the edge, becoming, a powerhouse?
Yeah.
And who knows what happens if if he doesn't step back into the ring, if they picked a different night, a different target.
It's those unseen forces, man, shaping everything. It really makes you think. And it makes me even more, ready to see how Fight Night, how they use this fictional heist, but to show us something real.
And don't forget the people in the middle of it all. Chicken Man, Ali, the detective, trying to do his job with everything going crazy. Their choices, their struggles, that's the heart of it.
So we've come to the end of our deep dive into Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist. But I'm still stuck on this. How does a city, on its way up, how does it deal with, the good and the bad? And what are people willing to give up for a chance to win, whatever winning means to them,
Big questions, man. Big questions.
No doubt. All right, y'all, there you have it. From the boxing ring to the streets, 1970s Atlanta, the ambition, the history, the mystery. Now it's your turn. Go check out Fight Night. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one.